I noticed something very interesting today. I went to two different services, one for the worship set, and then I walked to the other one for their worship set, and then came back to the end of a sermon, an invitation, and communion. And my original intention was to go to a different church, so I would go to three services, two worship sets, and then a full service that would end right around the time I needed to walk back to work. But at the second service, they played the exact same song that I had just sung. There's a song I'd never heard before, and I'll actually read some of it because the lyrics were in a bulletin that I was able to go back and pick up when I went to hear the sermon. Anyway, it was a song I'd never heard before, but I had been thinking as I was looking at the bulletin prior to the first service, a lot of the lyrics of these new songs either come straight from the Bible or they are referencing old hymns. The oldest song that I sung today was from 2019, 5 years ago. I guess there would be a total of 7 songs probably. Well, with the one repeat, probably 6. But all of them newer than the last 5 years. And the first one was basically straight out of the end of Joshua. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. It was parts of his prayer. And there was a reference to a very, very old hymn. And I can't think of the name of it right now without Googling it and messing up the video. But it was the hymn that has the line, praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, 3 in 1. A very doctrinal song, like one that talks about something that a lot of Christians may not understand completely. I probably don't either. But a reference to the Trinity, one of the cornerstones of our faith that comes from another famous song. There's one that I think was sung at Revival this year, maybe. I'm fighting a battle you've already won. No matter what comes my way, I will overcome. I felt like I had heard it before, and that was where I think I heard it. But it's got the line, he'll fix my eyes on Jesus, and I'll say that all is well. Quoting from Hebrews, and then referencing the classic Christian hymn, It Is Well With My Soul. The song that was repeated was an interesting one. At the first service, they only did one verse and the chorus. When I got to hear it again, I got to hear 3 or maybe 4 verses. And the chorus. So I don't have all the lyrics in front of me, but saying all I have is a hallelujah. Nothing else. I've got nothing else fit for a king. The fit for a king is a reference to an old Christmas song. I forget the name of it though. What gift do we have that's fit for a king, or something like that, and just a description of what we have to offer him. And all I have is a hallelujah. It reminds me of several of the Psalms where David recognizes that he doesn't have anything else, or at least he doesn't have anything else that matters. And oddly enough, they their prayer time, they had a communal prayer time, asking people if they had any requests and asking them to gather up and pray. And that ended up taking so long that they skipped over the only song that I knew, that better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house than thousands elsewhere, which that portion is older than 5 years, but they only sang that little, the song that references it is newer. The entirety of the rest of the song is different. But I found it so interesting to, like I mentioned this morning, sometimes it's good to hear songs you've never heard before, and then other times to remember the times that you've sung the same song again. And I got a little mix of both and a little sermon on the armor of God and how the different parts work together and how it all is wrapped up in prayer. Prayer is not something that you can add at halftime, like the analogy of a football game. You can't just suddenly start preparing at halftime and hope that you're ready. It's not going to work. And you can't just go into battle unprepared. Like, if you don't know what's going to happen. The minister had an example or object lesson or whatever, that imagine your friends say, hey, let's go out and throw a football around this afternoon. And you show up, shorts and a t-shirt, and they've all got full pads and helmets. You're not ready. You don't have the gear. It doesn't matter how much prayer you offer up at halftime. You may not even make it to halftime. You have to get ready long before the battle if you want to have any hope of making it through.